Now you mentioned a level of 2. Do you want to expand a little bit more? What are the levels that we've got in the ADAPT tool?
Right, we go all the way from a level 0, which would be very routine. This would be for a true novice, somebody who's really starting out from ground zero, wanting to work on base level formulas, all the way up to a level of 10, which means you could start teaching my classes for me. But a 6 is what we were targeting to be saying, you've got a good master of the material, you're ready for the exam. Some students like to maybe get themselves a little bit above that, but we really say target level of 6 is good for the exam. Right. Now you won't, if you take a level 6 exam, you won't be getting only level 6 questions. You'll be getting a variety of questions from nearby levels. Okay. We say that the average level on that exam is 6. So you will see some very hard questions, as on the real test. You will see some very, very hard questions. Part of taking an actual exam is time management, looking at a question, and maybe at sometimes saying, this question is so hard, I'm going to sacrifice it to go ahead and do the others. Right. That's part of the strategy of taking these exams.
Right. And being a computer-based training tool, it allows you to help kind of practice through that time management, because it's a tool that's geared to be very similar to the actual exam experience itself.
We've tried to emulate the exam experience in as much faithfulness as we can, within reason, obviously, because we aren't the same company. Right. But we have made a few cases where we have made a compromise, because not everybody can study in the same way. If you're, say, newly married, you have a 6-month-old at home, you may not be able to put in a 3-hour block to take a sample exam. So we do have features that allow you to save where you're at and restart, which obviously you can't do in a real exam. More as a compromise for people who can't put in the 3-hour blocks, but still give them the same flavor. Right. Obviously, if you can afford the 3-hour blocks, we encourage you to take it under as closely guarded circumstances as you can, so that you're used to that environment. Right. Computer-based testing is very different just in how it feels to take a computer-based test. You don't want to have that feeling of being lost when you're starting the test just from the environment. You want to be saying, okay, I've been in this chair, I've seen tests like this before. Right. Most of us are still used to pencil, paper, tests. Right. And that can really throw some kids out. I know some students that have been really just thrown by the format as so different from what they've seen before. Right.
So if you're one of those students that has to print off all of your documentation to read it, that may be a challenge for you to actually concentrate and focus when your questions are actually on the screen.
Right. And you do not have printing capability.
Right. And so test. I know other people, that's not a problem, but there's certainly, I know I'm kind of one of those people that if I got something I really want to focus on reading, I usually like to print it out, and something about touching that paper, and you don't get that opportunity. But ADAPT allows you to practice that.
Correct.